Darren Garcia. I've been doing martial arts since I was 12 years old. Started with Taekwondo. My fascination with it began first time I saw American Ninja. When I became 12, my cousin George, who's a fifth degree black belt at Taekwondo, started training me, and he learned from an old Korean master from long before Taekwondo was commercialized and became, the not so powerful art tradition, more powerful traditional art that it is not today. And it's sad that it's catching a bad rap for that. But as I got you know as I got older, I was getting picked on a lot, especially when I was a kid. And then more or less got worse when I was a teenager. The church I was going to had these much bigger, stronger guys. And by the time UFC had started, I hadn't seen any of it. I didn't know anything about it, aside from Ken Shamrock from professional wrestling. And when it came to grappling, like all these much bigger guys that I was going up against, that's all they knew. And as far as the striking arts, as skinny as I wasn't able to hit hard enough to get these guys off, to really get these guys away from me. When my friend for a long time showed me this Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school, and this was in Yonkers. The boxing gym that they train in is closed down now. But after that one class, I started fighting these guys again and started beating them, and they didn't want to fight me anymore after that. When I got into the Marine Corps, studied a little Marine Corps martial arts. A lot of guys I went up against were high school wrestlers who, when they first got, once they were able to get me on my back, they didn't know what else to do. So then I'm able to come around and arm bar them or choke them or something. And also studied White Tiger Kung Fu. But when it got to me getting out of the service, it was weird because I wanted to get back into martial art training, and my father had made friends with this guy Alex Isagire. Alex is my trainer now. When I first met him, I was 25, and I've been training with him more or less ever since. I'm 30 now. When I first got started there, I thought, with the accolades I had with, submitting all these much stronger guys, that maybe I'd be at the same level as some of the students he had. Turns out they were here. I was all the way down there, and it was a very humbling experience when I first got started, me having to lose all the time. But I was obviously learning. I kept getting better and better from it. As that whole jiu-jitsu journey started, learning mixed martial arts through him as well, because he has 5 other black belts, and just recently got his black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under El Sembrites Jucal. We're affiliated under Equipe Jucal. We're in White Plains, and Jucal's headquarters is in New Jersey. And getting to train with Jucal whenever he would come around, and getting all my belts through him at his ceremonies, and watching him compete was amazing. And speaking of competitions, ever since I started, I've got to meet Matt Serra, Ricardo Almeida, Henzo Gracie. I got to meet Gabriel Gonzaga, Ty Mach, who was Bruce Leroy in The Last Dragon, and as well as Hoyler Gracie, which was a real shock to me. And in those competitions, during those competitions, I got to last year. As a matter of fact, at the New York Open, I placed 3rd in the ultra heavyweight blue belt division, and being able to show my medal off to my master and Hoyler Gracie, and and time mocking all these guys. You know, it was quite it was it was awesome to be able to be able to do that to people you've looked up to for a while. Um, uh, One of the biggest roadblocks, unfortunately for me, had to be me training. You know, it was a big roadblock, not because of anything else I wanted to do, but because when I first got started, there were so many other guys that had been training there for a while, and these were the guys that were beating me, and these were the guys I was learning from. And I'm the senior student now. I'm the senior student now, not because I rose, I worked my way up to the top, but because everybody that was better than me left. For whether it was their own personal reasons, like they got a new job somewhere else, they moved out of town, they're from another state, or for their own selfish reasons, unfortunately. And the responsibilities of the senior student, um, uh, were spread out throughout all these guys. And then when they all left, all left one at a time, all of that got dumped onto me. So now I'm the one that I'm the one that has to be there to help teaching with these students when my trainer couldn't make it, because unfortunately he has to try to work and do things. Right now he's actually in college, and I'm the one that has to teach the classes whenever he can't make it. And I didn't mind that at all. I love doing it. When I tried going to school, I have a degree in digital media now, and it was tough for me to try to train, as well as my first semester back in school. I told Alex, it's like, look, man, I really want to make a good first impression here, and this was the first time I've ever done all my homework, so I actually put my training on hold. When I got out of that, shortly after getting out of that, I got my blue belt. When going to school full time, training full time, and working full time was very hard. And at the same time, guys, other guys that were there before me training, long before I got there, they all started leaving. And with going to school, working full time, and training full time, and then having to teach, a lot of times everything everything just becomes one big mess. And it was tough for me. It was tough for my trainer. It was tough for a lot of the students there. And even after winning my bronze medal, I was unfortunately I was getting money to go to school, and then when I wasn't in school anymore, I wasn't getting paid. And now I was able to I was only working part-time now. And the bad part about that was when when I get paid, it wouldn't be enough to pay for training. And that was another bump in the road. Then I went to film school in LA. While I was in LA for 3 months, I was homeless the entire time while I was out there. I was going to school out there full time, and I was homeless. The places they would try to put me would be for drug rehabilitation, where you're not allowed to go outside. So forget about trying to find a jiu-jitsu school out there, which there are many. I wasn't too far from Eddie Bravo's school. I found a Gracie school out there, and it was just too far away from wherever I was staying, and I wouldn't have the time to go out there. And of course, it was also pretty expensive, considering and I didn't have a job. I found John Machado's dojo my last day in Los Angeles, and that would have been more close to the style that Jucao teaches. So I've been told. It was like, wow, you got to be kidding me. I've been looking for this dojo this whole time, and I find it, and I'm going to fly back to New York tomorrow. It was tough doing that. Then, of course, me coming back to New York, getting back into training. another roadblock happens after helping my trainer, after coaching two of juniors for their first championships. It was their first competition, and they walked away with gold medals. My trainer couldn't be there, couldn't be there to coach them. I coached them, and that was my greatest accomplishment in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, helping them become champions. And me and my trainer had a falling out. Uh, it was something very petty, something that because of what other people were saying, and for a long time, my family and friends be like, "Yo, he should be paying you. Oh, you should be doing this. You should be doing that. If you got to be helping him this much." And for me, it was never about that because I knew he didn't make, he doesn't make enough money. I'm not gonna, force him to pay me for for something he can't pay me for. I knew that eventually it was gonna pay itself off because because since I was a kid, I've always wanted to be a martial arts instructor, regardless of what style it was. Back then it was all, back then in the 80s it was all Jitsu, and later on karate. When I started doing taekwondo, that was great. And now I find a place where a place where I belong. And even when I wasn't training under him anymore, I could have went to my master in New York City, but that would have been disrespectful towards my trainer, regardless of what was whatever the beef between us was. It wasn't worth me like spitting in his face that way. Then on top of that, I wanted to stay under Jucal. And after about 6 months of not training, my Alex finally came up to me and basically told me he was sorry. With things that happened, he was too busy listening to other people, and I could have handled it a lot better myself. Because from the beginning, like I said, it was never about the money or anything like that, or being promoted quickly or anything like that. I was just there to help. I was there to train. And I love doing it. I love training. I love teaching, and for the most part, that's what I've been getting out of it since then. And those have been pretty much my biggest roadblocks. When I first got started, I didn't realize everything that would more or less come against me, and the fact that I've overcome a lot of that stuff has really helped change me, and definitely made me a better person. I mean, the kid who thought he knew everything back in the day when he wasn't, when he was fighting and was winning a lot. To see me that I'm even more dangerous now is just is just mind blowing. And I know there's so much more that I need to learn. Like a lot of people, a friend of mine, as a matter of fact, he's a veteran. He's also a Marine. He injured himself, and he has a back injury, and it sucks for him because he's disabled, so he can't really get, and they don't pay him enough to live off his disability. But if he was to get a job on the books, they'd take that money away, and it doesn't, stuff like that doesn't help. When a situation like that, I see him, and me, like, I'm injured myself. I was an ordnance technician, and I thought it was just a pulled muscle. Turns out I tore my rotator cuff lifting the back end of a Sparrow missile all by myself, and it's been giving me problems, especially when I train, and a lot of people that would hinder a lot of people. However, for me, what I did was what I did was I learned to move around it. Because of me having to defend that weakness, I learned how to escape. I learned how to counter. I learned how to basically, even though somebody else is on top of you, you could still more or less get back into control, get back into being the aggressor, which I do a lot with my junior students, which I help them to learn that. When I I see something, when I see someone like Ed O'Neill, listening to his story and how he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt now. So you figured, you know what? If Al Bundy has a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, you have no excuse. And not taking anything away from Ed O'Neill, because he, apparently he's put his time in, and former NFL player, and it's just that from you look at him, you don't think, he doesn't look like a fighter at all, and to find out he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt after 15 years, that requires a lot of dedication. Someone like Joe Rogan, Taekwondo black belt, Taekwondo, national champion, and even Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Now he was a brown belt for 8 years, and God knows how long it took for him to get his brown belt. And the dedication and everything that these guys put into it. It's mind blowing. It's amazing to see that people actually do that, and people, as far as being injured or being too old. I got guys in my school, over the age of 50, over the age of 50, over the age of 55, that are still rolling, no problem. One guy, he's a 4th degree black belt in Shindo Karate. He's got multiple championships in sparring and weapons forms, and he comes into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He doesn't need to learn this. He's already proven himself. He's already proven himself as a fighter, and yet he's still coming in. He's still coming in there to learn grappling. Another guy from he used to train with Enzo Gracie. He injured himself and wanted to get back into it. And like I said, he's over the age of 55. He injured himself after 5 years of being off it. He moves to Westchester County, and he finds another school. Lo and behold, one of the Jucal, who knew the Gracies from way back in the days of Brazil. And if you're gonna learn from anybody that isn't a Gracie or a Machado, it's like Jucal's the man to learn under. The guy's a multiple time champion. Watching him recently, saw him go up against some guys like that guy does. Looking at his opponents, like that guy doesn't stand a chance. He has no idea who he's going up against, man. And to see that is great. So my ultimate goal right now, since you can open your own school as a purple belt, and purple belt being the next rank for me, my goal is to at least win at least one competition. We got the Big Apple and the New York Open coming up soon. Hopefully by the fall, one of those competitions I would have won. On top of that, when I get my purple belt, I want to start teaching at my church in West Harrison. West Harrison doesn't have any martial arts schools aside from Taekwondo school in the actual town of Harrison. West Harrison itself does not have any martial arts schools, and I can't think of a better way to help promote my church, because I want to teach in my church. I can't think of a better way to help promote my church and dojo there than to say that a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion, whether it's a world champion, international champion, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion is opening a school, in your town. I can't think of that's more. Well, it's a lot friendlier than the Gracie Challenge was, but I understand why the Gracie Challenge had to be put out. And I just always wanted to be an instructor. I have other things that I love to do. I'm an artist. I'm an aspiring filmmaker, but for the most part, I've always wanted to be a martial arts instructor, and to be able to do that as a purple belt and be able to teach my art now. I've been teaching for the past 3 years, and for me to be able to do it and make a little money off of it would be great. Of course I want to get my black belt. I can't think of anything higher than that aside from like maybe not world champion because I've got other there's other things that I would want to do. Too many other things, but definitely one of those Naga championship belts look those look pretty good. When I get my black belt, that's one of the first things I'm gonna be going. That's one of the first things I'm gonna be going for. Not a championship belt from Naga, and that I would have to say is my ultimate goal. For people that don't think that they can do this, it's completely possible. It's I'm not gonna say it's easy. You do have to put your work in, but basically you just have to you have to be in it to understand. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. You can watch videos and other stuff like that, but until you do it yourself, you really can't. Nobody could really do a good job of explaining it. You have to get in and see for yourself. There are plenty of places to do to get free lessons. Places that that understand and work with your budget. Maybe you're a little shy. You want to do private lessons, stuff like that. My trainer here in White Plains, we do that, and it's fun. For the most part, it is definitely fun. And the whole jiu-jitsu world, even though we compete against each other, it's still just one big family. Because wherever you go, even the competitions you see, it's everybody just has a great time. It's meeting a lot of guys that I've mentioned. Even of course I forgot to mention I've met Daniel for an interview. Having met Daniel, met Henzo, met Hoyler, met GSP, met Chuck Liddell, all these guys. It's just part of this. It's just part of this big family of fighters, of martial artists that they understand that everybody's trying to achieve something. They understand everybody has their own problems and struggles that they have to go through, and everybody's trying to overcome something. And it's just one big happy family. One way or another, you're definitely gonna have a great time. And my name is Darren Garcia, and this has been my journey.